about visual effects, through looking Google online. A lot of the things that you find online is like bits and pieces that the information is not organized. You need to learn to how to like synchronize all this data, all this knowledge, right, and apply to your specific project problem. You see, this is what we call problem solving, and it's a super important skill set that employers look for, because projects don't always have the same problems. Then you have to learn to know how to solve them on the fly. So it's not that I'm lazy. I don't want, or I could be overly busy, but you need to learn the skill set of trying to find out things on your own. Okay, but definitely I'll guide you along with certain pointers, but I'll not be like, wow, like in assignment 1 every week, everything is like laid out to you so nicely. Okay, so as usual, modular modeling, topological economy. This time around, the style for this water diorama, die has to be low poly kind, but not like your Minecraft stuff. Okay, it need to be low poly, but not like Minecraft. So Megascan and all that is definitely out of the question already. Okay, one of the possibility we do not know yet. I'm not sure whether Mr. Elias has plans for, the one of the reason why we want to keep it low poly is in case Mr. Elias want to use this asset that you're going to do for assignment 2 and somehow port it in over to your VR. I think you are doing in ITD, right? You are doing VR stuff, right? Right? Yes or no? No reply. Or enjoying the
Yes.
rainy day. Okay. So VR, at the moment, I don't think, I'm not sure. I have not really played with VR to that extent. Like Megascan stuff is going to like choke the system. Okay, it will not run as smoothly. In Megascan stuff are super high poly. Okay, so that's why it has to be have that kind of feel that is a low poly in nature. This high to low poly model detail map baking thing, I might change it. I might take it out. Where's my arrow? Where's my mouse? This thing. Because of the nature that we are aiming for a low poly feel, this might not be necessary. But then there are some low poly stuff that actually have some kind of details that you can actually still integrate this. So we will see how it goes. Okay, that's why I put it down here. It's work in progress. Okay. Shader graph application for sure. VFX integration. In this case, not sure the last time in 3RT, a lot of the things you are done, you did is VFX graph stuff. But now we need to do a hybrid between these two. So to learn when to use which one, or sometimes it's such that you have to mix them up with the shader graph also. Okay, so that's something to consider. The rest is as usual, your light maps and all the stuff, post-processing, and making sure that after that you build it, it can run smoothly. Okay, it's always essential to understand that the build is the final thing, or it's not your Unity project. When you run it, then not everybody is going to download Unity. So you make sure that at the end, your final product, the build works. If it doesn't work, then we have to figure out how to solve the problem. Okay. As it needs to be in URP mode. Okay, so why do you think it has to be URP? From all these criteria out there. Can answer. Just looking at all this knowledge that you have to apply, why do you think it has to be URP? You all need to understand why cannot use a standard random pipeline or SRP. Why? No reply. Then we'll not move on. Why must be URP? The attendance now. Celeste, are you here?
Yeah. Hello.
Don't know. Divesh, are you here?
Hello. Can you hear me, Mr. Q?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah.
Divesh, are you here? I can see you in the list, but I don't hear your voice. I'll come back to you. Joshua?
Yes, I'm here.
Esther?
Yeah, I'm here.
Jordan?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yushen? Here are Yushen.
Yes.
Wei Feng? Musa say that he has something on. Yeah, let me do something. Hui Ling is here, right?
Yeah.
An.
Here.
Arun?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. So how? Why must be URP? Why die? I make your life so difficult, must be URP.
Is it better
Yes.
support for shader graph?
Yep. And besides shader graph, what else?
Post-processing.
Nope, not post-processing.
Standard got post-processing. Post-processing, meh?
Got lah. Don't have
Oh,
meh?
really? I don't know. I
Yeah,
never use
got
that.
lah. I think there is. Yeah. Got, definitely got.
Then the
The
VFX
VXF.
graph
VFX
system.
Yeah, VFX graph. Okay. VFX and shader graph not available on SRP. Okay. Shuriken is also available for SRP. Okay, so take note of all these things. Okay. So the mission, waterfall, obviously you have to, diorama, waterfall diorama, low poly, so definitely have to have a waterfall, right? And then you can see this image as an example. This is one kind of low poly style. There are more than this. Later I'll show you more. A waist deep pool of water below waterfall, which a third person character can walk around or walk in. Okay, so not like this time round. More than likely because of the fact that I make a mistake where I ask you all to go and delete off the ground that is hidden below your sea, right? So that we can reduce the poly count. So now I think a lot of your case, your third person can walk on water, okay, on the ocean and all the stuff. But in this particular project, your character needs to be able to walk inside the water. Okay. Okay, so there needs to be like this pool that your character can walk inside. Okay, but not like submerge lah. No, just waist deep. Then with that, the guy walk around this waterfall, water pool, right? Supposed to create ripples. Okay, it's interactive water ripples. This one is very experimental. We'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, then I might remove this thing, but we'll see how. We need to try. Okay, and then low poly rocks, trees, foliage arranged in an interesting manner. Okay, that's really up to your imagination. This is where you can try to distinguish yourself from the rest of your cohort, because everybody is doing the same thing. And how do you make yourself your particular scene more interesting than the rest? Anything else that make your diorama interesting? Okay, this is like, if you think about it, right, even though I never say about storytelling element, this is something that should be instilled inside. Okay, if you don't have storytelling, just anyhow do a waterfall, then more than likely it's not going to be as interesting one. Okay, so as this part is the same thing, whatever the yardstick that is being used for assignment 1, you can reuse that particular semicircular, semi-hemisphere, sky dome, and all that stuff. Okay. Obviously, you don't have to use the whole circle, the previous one, but you can make the whole area like this smaller, or you can use the whole thing. That's really up to you. Just remember about that constraint or size constraint. Now the aim, remember that this aim is to create a relaxing scene, not something that's scary, emo, all that kind of negative feeling that you might experience as a teenager, with all your angst and all that stuff. It has to be happy feely, happy inducing. Okay, also must be happy, joy. Okay, now to go against the golf that most of you always choose to do. Okay, this part kind of debatable. Next term, by default, officially we are going to face-to-face, unless something really bad happen with the Omicron strand, that then we'll see how it goes. But as it is, officially is face-to-face. So, largely working remotely, debatable, but you need to communicate with me. You're the one that initiate communication, not me. Okay, I'm the client. Just imagine the situation that I'm paying you to do the job. I'm not supposed to be the one that's like hounding on you to do the job. Okay. So final deliverable is the playable thing. This is an example. Yeah. Okay, but I mean, it is as it is, but it could be better, I think. Personally, I don't like the fact that it's actually squarish like that. I'll just tell you all my personal preference. Okay, I feel that this is much more interesting in terms of the way that it's circular, but it's not, it has all this kind of jagged thing. So try to design your diorama to something like that if possible, not just the squarish thing. Criteria, marking assessment criteria, modeling economy, texture and quality, shader graph integration, VFX integration, lighting, post-processing quality, and then real-time friendliness. This time around, you don't have to do the volume, so-called the local volume thing for the post-processing. It can be just one global post-processing. If you want to do one local volume, I'm not going to stop you. If it's like something that works within like a story element, then it's fine. Deliverables, I think you don't have to worry about this until later on. So that's that. Any questions? This one is due in week 14. Counting the holidays in between. I think the holidays is week 10 and 11, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, week 10 and 11. Then after that, 14 onwards is your IP. Okay, so that's that. This one, I think this one is 20%, if I don't remember wrongly, compared to your assignment one, which is 30%. Okay, questions? Take a sip of water. So this whole idea of this waterfall diorama, right, came from this particular, this particular tutorial, which is not entirely 100% showing you everything. It kind of goes through the concept that he does, and then he doesn't show you how to do things in shader graph and all the stuff, but he also give you like, oh, I actually got inspired by this particular guy's blog, and I wanted to try out doing this particular same kind of style of a waterfall, and then all that stuff. And then he went about how you approach it, but he doesn't show you step by step of how you approach it. He just explained to you. Then you have to figure out how to do it. This is where you need to learn. It's like you have a starting point. This is your jumping off point. Then you hear keywords from this thing, but it doesn't show you 100%. Then how do you from there go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, like Alice in Wonderland. And then that's how you problem solve. You find something on through Google, through one keyword that leads you to other keywords that you go further down to find out more. Okay, like down here he mentioned about how to move he used a texture and how to move the texture and all stuff. And then you have to, if you don't know, you have not done anything like where you move the texture with shader graph, then you have to go and Google about how do I move texture in Unity or in Unity shader graph, and then find out more and all stuff. Okay, that's how you try to do your technical Googling to find out more tutorials and bits and pieces to solve your problem. Understand? Okay, so that's that. So this is my starting point. From here, then I go and dig. Okay, and then from there, I know for sure it has to deal with texture being moved. Now, from your experience with doing the what's that? The ocean shader. Okay, what are some nodes that you definitely have to use to move textures in the shader graph? People?
Is it normals?
Normals are normals. Normals is just a texture. Well, yeah, the normals, you need to move your normals to give the impression that it's moving. That's for sure. But how do you move that particular normal texture? It's just the same as your albedo. You're also going to move your albedo, or in this case, I don't know why it used to be called.
Node?
Yeah, the time node. Yeah, time node is for sure one thing. What else? Time node need to attach to something before it attach to a texture. Either it be a normal or it be a base color. Before you can make the textures move, right? What is that particular other node? Oh,
Apologies, could you repeat your question again?
so you know that you have a texture, either it be a normal or a base color, okay? And you want to move it. Celeste, right? You say that one of the thing
yeah.
you is a time node in the shader graph. So time node needs to attach to something or another node before it's attached to the albedo or the normal map. In order to move the normal map or the base color. So what is that particular in between node? So all these kind of things you need to kind of like memorize in the sense after you've done a number of times. It's like, oh, I want to move things. This nodes must be there one. And then you can
Is
like,
it toweling and offset?
yep, that's the one. Okay, so you know roughly these are the nodes that need to be there. Then how do you do it? And then you need to apply over to here. Okay, if it's not clear, then you have to go and Google, find out, oh, I want to move. And then, yeah, is this the one? Sorry, not this one. Not this one, sorry. Google. Ah! Yeah, something like this one. So this guy, I think he did kind of what? No, yeah, everybody is playing now. Anyway, one of this skip ad. Yeah, he actually like go through steps by step. Oh, shader graph this one. Oh no, this guy is using C++. I mean C some. This guy is using coding to move the thing instead of shader graph. So if for those that like coding one, you can do it that way. So there's various ways so that's why what? Yeah, this guy is using from scratch one. He go and code one. So if you are a coder, you want to do it this way, also can. But I'm sure you can find something down here also, which I found that where you can figure out how to do this texture movement with the shader graph. Okay. And then this guy did show how he lay out his UVs, because the way that you lay out your UVs also is important. Okay. And then there's also particle effects with the shuriken stuff. Take note of one particular thing that see, all these are just a plane with a texture that he just make it move. And all this is done with shader graph. Okay. It's just like that. See, this is the texture. So you can watch this thing and then, but he doesn't show you everything, so he kind of talk you through. So you need to learn in such a manner where people don't show you 100% from step 1 to step 2 to step 100%. Okay. One thing interesting that I found about this guy is, in order to save, he save on, because this thing is a circular thing, right? He actually managed to do something like a quadrant of this part, the UV, and then I can't remember whether he stacked it or he put it in different quadrant, right? So that you can maximize it. And because this thing is one quadrant like that, right? He can, because of that, then this thing actually becomes a circle. The texture just on here. Also, I thought that was really quite a genius move lah, because with that, right, you're actually occupy with just 1/4 of this UV, right? You can cover up, you use up a whole quadrant space, you see, and you have higher resolution. Okay, instead of one circular thing, which will mean that your texture down here will be lower resolution. Okay, so these are tricks that you can learn from other people's. Yeah. I think, yeah, he did something like that. Oh. So it's that all these are alpha. I think these are the alphas. This guy's one is basically he used the terrain build, but this one is going to look very realistic, which is not what we are aiming for, you know. But kind of show you all this is because, you know, this is roughly in terms of the layout, this is roughly the way we want it, except for the squarish thing. You know, that there needs to be a pool like that. And notice how he's using things to cover up the stretch texture of the unities, the terrain tool, and also the trees also. Okay. Ideally, your tree should not be so realistic looking with all the individual leaves. I will show you all some samples of what I mean for low poly trees and foliage. Okay, so another one, but this one it's about the water. This water effect is actually shuriken, which will be slightly more expensive than this method. I prefer that you all explore this particular method in line with this particular method. Well, you can possibly do this portion, right? There is this portion where it has I think the water mist. Then maybe you can add on the water mist from here with this particular chunk. Okay, and this part. Okay, so because when waterfall splashes down, right, there should be some kind of water mist thing. Okay, you can also try to do some visual research of actual waterfall, what it looks like if you have not been to a waterfall. Also this kind of misty thing at the bottom. So you can cut and paste techniques, from different videos. And this guy, there's another one, I think is you. But yeah, this guy is also like, it's quite expert already, like they can code the shader. So those are like coders one, you want to do it this way through coding also can. Wow, so nice, the shader. Anyway, it's through this one that I found, yeah, it's like when you're doing all these kind of things, you're jumping around and there's no order. Through this guy, I somehow found this one. Yeah, it's the same person, Minions Art, and it has this ripple thing. Then I have not tested this thing out yet, so that's why I'm putting the thing as like a work in progress. So we're going to test this thing out. Theoretically, I kind of understand this one because it's a process that you use this same process for another effect where you actually you want your character walk on a snow field, right, and leave a snow trail, right? It's the same concept. It's just that now it's on the water. Because right now my concern is how does this work with when your third person character walk out of this pond of water? Will what will happen. That is my main concern, which I want to test out. Worst come to worst, you start off your scene with your character just stuck in the water first, like he or she is enjoying the water pool, like the waterfall is a part of a wenquan, a spa like setting in Japan, okay. And then you can't get out of the pool for some reason, okay, you're stuck down there to enjoy the pool, okay. But we'll see how it goes. So there are things down here that need some kind of coding, and that is attached to your node and all stuff. All this we need to test out lah. In theory, seems to be it can work, but you need to test it out. That's why there's a lot of need for testing out. For this particular project, you need to do little small tests to then integrate into your final project. Okay. Questions? And from this guy, dig more things. Wow, if I want to make my water pool more interesting but caustic like that, then if this can be done, then I would design my water underneath, the environment underneath much more nicer. Maybe it can have seaweed and stuff. The seaweed can also have, like, I don't know, you can actually use cloth now, or Unity cloth to actually put onto your seaweed, and when a guy walk around, you can see him interacting the seaweed also seeing the caustic. All these things is possible if this thing works lah. So then again, you have to test out. And then I go and find, and then I found this thing, then go, so it's in Pinterest. Then I say, let's try it. Let's go and see what is going on here. And then, hey, where is this? Pinterest. What the fuck? Like that. Yeah. And I found this site. Then voila, look at this. There's all the steps, in this block. This is, ArtStation is like a, it shows you the steps actually. How to move the thing. See, he's not using shader graph, but this is something called what is that? Amplifier. Amplify. This one actually is actually a plugin that you have to pay that you basically adds. It functions like a shader graph, but it can work in SRP, standard render pipeline one. Okay, so before Unity actually have shader graph, right? This plugin was available for people to use it. So things might be different. The naming conventions and all that stuff might be different, but you can look at all this. All this one might be different, but you need to figure it out in terms of how you can use it in the shader graph setting. I tell you for sure, you just look at this thing alone itself, it's different. It's amplifier unit UI okay. So but with this you can understand how the concept is like so to speak. Okay. You see all these kind of things. Then you think about it. How can I achieve this in shader graph? Now it doesn't give you 100% because this is Amplify. Do you throw away this whole tutorial because this is freaking Amplify? No, it can work. This concept can work in shader graph, right? Okay. It's explain about the UVs. This guy has a very, very much more detailed explanation compared to this guy. Compared to this guy, but it's the same concept because they're both inspired by the same guy, the rhyme thing, this rhyme thing. Okay. And then he breaks it into like don't know how many parts. See 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one is definitely a very good resource for you to bank on or to settle this assignment to. Questions? Boom. And then that's how I do my so-called technical research. But at the moment, none of this is tested. So it's like still not 100%. Okay. So the next step is always like after you found all these things, you have to go and test it yourself in a smaller scale first. And once it works for sure, you understand it, after with actual practical knowledge, as in like you actually do it, then you put it into your bigger setting of your actual final project. Questions? Okay, questions?
No, for me at the moment.
If no question, that's all for me, for today. You can proceed to work on your assignment 1, and then worry about your assignment 2 as after today. Okay. Okay. Yes.
Only one more thing.
Uh,
Where do you get the third person like controller thing?
Third person controller. See, in this store. Wow, Black Friday 50% off. Look for free. Yeah, this guy.
I see. I see.
Just remember this shape. This one you bring in, you need to change it, the textures and that stuff to URP, or else it comes in, it's still pink color. Okay. Most of the assets you work in is SSRP in asset store. Any other questions? Oh yeah, the low poly style, right? Low poly 3D art. You might want to do some research, visual research, and look for low poly 3D art. You can go this direction, or this kind case, which is not all triangulated kind of things. So yeah, it's up to you as long as it look interesting. And also, yeah. So this usually people will think, oh, this kind of more like triangulated thing. If this is the one that you want to choose, not fine. But it need not be always this kind. Okay, no, not. Or it could be a mixture for trees or something like that. No. As long as overall it looks nice. Let me see. Wow, look at that. Exactly your scene. See, even with triangle, sometimes, with some kind of stylization, it can still look very nice. So you need to find your own, see how they deal with the trees and that stuff. One thing you all need to take note of, right? Your environment is like a background thing, or don't make your environment so busy that it kind of make it so this becomes something that is very distracting. I noticed how the students that have submitted one, the texture choices that they have done for the environment, the grass, and over the number of UV tiling. Sometimes after you try to UV tile it, right, and then you notice, hey, this guy at this particular scale, with your human character running around in the scene, that particular rock texture becomes very distracting. Then you have to find another texture or you modify it, you see. You can't just stick with whatever is given to you. Sometimes you just have to make adjustments. So you have to plan your scene in such a way. You have to run around and then see, are the environment becoming overly distracting compared to your third person character that's running around. Okay, so yeah, it's a lot of not really low poly, but still it's not like the freaking triangular thing. So this kind of stuff. Whoa, look at that. This is interesting. Wow, can still give you that kind of, see that? Wow. Wow, see a blog about low poly art. Wow, see. Wow. Okay, go and do your own research on that. Okay, nothing else, you can go. Make sure you all can submit on time, 2359, whatever stage it is, just submit.